Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful weather, evening. And while we are waiting for others, we can start dinner, please.
Welcome everyone. You should not be under any pressure. Be at ease and eat and enjoy while listening to the facilitator of this program. As you know, this is the second workshop of a three-part workshop series that focusing on toxic polarization. The first workshop was held on April 17th at Villa Park Public Library. Some of you were there, and some of you are attending the second. The third one will be on June 12th at MEC in Martin Grove on June 12th, the same time. So I start in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, with the opening prayer of Quran. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Praise be to the Lord of the universe, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, most beneficent, most merciful, Maliki Yawmiddin, Master of the Day of Judgment. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. To you alone we worship, and from you alone we seek help. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. Siratal lazina an'amta alayhim, the path of those people whom you have blessed, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin, and not the path of those with whom you have been angry. Ameen. Our workshop facilitator today are Sheikh Ibad Wali. Since their way of introducing themselves is built in the presentation itself, so I will not take much time introducing them, but I will say that Sheikh Ibad Wali has joined us from Jersey, and in addition to many responsibilities, he is the senior Islamic advisor to the One America movement. We have just concluded the annual National Summit of One America movement. I was lucky to be there from May 4th to May 7th, and I was telling my friend Dr. Tanveer Azmat that it was a phenomenal meeting. I am also grateful to Reverend Alvin Bibbs and Cynthia and all the people in the One America Movement and Justice Journey Alliance for this opportunity to work together. The second facilitator, the co-facilitator, is Dr. Tanveer Azmat. And he has also a built-in introduction, but he is a board member of WCMIR, he is a professor, a researcher. He has done his PhD on the methodology of understanding Quran by our teacher and spiritual leader and mentor, late Dr. Irfan Ahmad Khan. So with this, I would like to invite Sister Seema Ahmed, the co-chair of the Interfaith Committee of Masjid Al-Huda. And we are very grateful to Brother Kashif and Sister Seema and the Masjid Al-Huda for having us here this evening. Sister Seema Ahmed.
Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. On behalf of Masjid al-Huda, we welcome you to have an educational night here. Hopefully, we'll have a huge amount of learning during this short period of time, inshallah. Welcome.
This, I hand it over to Sheikh Ibad Wali and Dr. Tanveer Azmi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you. It's a very special evening. Glory be to God to unite us all as children of Adam, as human beings, as people who believe in the Almighty, the Creator, the Sustainer. It's an incredible honor to be here, and I really wanted to extend how I feel I am honored by Reverend Alvin's presence, Reverend Jordan, Sister Cynthia. God bless you as leaders of the community to have your team come here. It's a lot of trust, immense trust that they have in you. So thank you for bringing your community here. God bless. Before we begin, I'd like everyone, I know you're eating, and I really would hate to disturb you, but I must, if you can please make sure you have Wi-Fi. Throughout the presentation, it's interactive, and you're going to need access to your phone, which is going to need access to Wi-Fi to conduct or participate in the surveys and the prompts. So if you can pull out your phones, go to the Wi-Fi, look for Al-Huda Wi-Fi, and enter the password ALHUDA at 1081. Then we can begin. And we're going to know if you're participating or not, because it gives us numbers of how many people are on. So we're going to count. Right? So please make sure. And plus, it's not going to be fun without you guys, so please make sure you do this. While you're doing that, I'd like to thank the Masjid Committee, the leaders of this community who have allowed WCMIR and the congregation that has joined us from Reverend Alvin Bibbs to come here. I thank Sister Seema. I thank the Masjid Committee for allowing this. It's not easy work. Unfortunately, it gets a little complicated and a little difficult sometimes to do these kind of events in our communities. So they've taken on a lot of responsibility to accomplish this. May Allah reward them as well. Amen. All right, we can go? Good? Bismillah. All right, so the topic is the intersection of peacemaking and polarization. How many people participated in the previous event on polarization? By a show of hands. All right, looks like about half or so. All right, so we're going to recap a little bit of polarization. So if you missed it, please pay attention in the beginning. It's going to be a very brief review. And why are we doing this? Confronting division within our own communities, right? Within our own communities. That's really what the entire session is about. And again, it's WCMIR, World Council of Muslim for Interfaith Relations. And we have Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. Azmat to thank for that. And One America Movement, where myself and Reverend Alvin Bibbs, we work together with a team of national faith leaders addressing toxic polarization on an interfaith level as well as a multi-faith level, bridging divides on faith values, and we'll talk about that as we go. Who am I? My name is Sheikh Ibad Wali. I am the Senior Muslim Advisor. I live in New Jersey. The X is where I am on the map, Ringwood. I did the best I could. Fun facts. I can sleep through a hurricane. So someone actually asked me, like, did you actually sleep through a hurricane? I was like, actually, it was an earthquake, but so it was close enough. But if you even whisper my name, I will wake up. And it has been tested. I was dorming here. I was a student for 2 years in IIE, and I was dorming, and some of the students didn't believe me. They snuck into my room, 2 a.m. I went to sleep around 10. 2 a.m., the person had his face right in front of me and said my name. My eyes opened up, and they all jumped back like I was possessed or something. So it works. It works. From art to architecture, I almost completed my course in being an architect, went to specialized school before I did what every brown person was doing, and that was data engineering, or rather IT, and I went into that field for some time. So I graduated with my bachelor's in computer science, went into the industry, and then decided the rat race wasn't for me. So I joined an institution, studied for 6 years, and then went back for my master's in Middle Eastern Studies, as well as chaplaincy and other ways to engage myself in spirituality and understanding my own faith. On the court, basketball court, I'm known as the one-handed bandit. I have a very awkward shot, and with my family, I'm known as Ibad the Builder. As you can see, that's my basement on top, and I renovated the entire basement, breaking these walls down and installing things all around the basement, along with the flooring. That's my family. We usually take a serious picture, and then we take a silly one. By mistake, I got the wrong picture up. I was supposed to get the serious one up. I got the silly one up, but that's my family. My wife, my 2 kids, Ayub and Hidayah, are 8 and 6, and that's our favorite breakfast right there, local bakery shop, lox and cream cheese sandwich with fresh-made bagels from the shop. All right. I'd like to bring on Dr. Tanvir to introduce himself.
My name is Tanvir Asmat, and thankfully I don't have the problem. You really have to wake me up. I won't wake up in a whisper. Basically, my interest has been, and now it is, I'm fully concentrated on the Quran and its interpretation and its worldview. I put down this picture. I was looking through the pictures and I saw this. This is when I was 20 years old. And now I am here. I also went through a lot of changes. Started as an electronics engineer and worked about 25 years in the industry. And thanks to the United States that we have this opportunity here, that you can change your field at any time in your life. So in 2008, when we had our economy went down and there was a serious problem with the automotive industry, so I completed my PhD in the interpretation and the issues involved in interpretation of the Quran or any text. You will see that I have this frame with nothing in it because I am in a habit to erase whatever is there in my life and then start something new. So I have done it 2 or 3 times and I'm waiting what's going to be next. So thank you so much for coming, and inshallah we will continue.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Tanvir. May Allah bless you and increase you. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. All right, so we're going to begin by joining Slido. Please take out your phones, which should be already on Wi-Fi. If not, and you've come late, kindly ask the person next to you to give you the Wi-Fi password. They have it. If you don't have it, I'll bring the screen back on.
Okay.
So this is important for you to participate. There's a lot of interaction, prompts. Wi-Fi is Al-Huda Wi-Fi. Password is Al-Huda at 1801. That's the address, 1801? 1801 or 1081?
1081.
1081. Al-Huda at 1081. All right. Everyone's joined? Yes? No worries. Take your time. As they say, take your time, but hurry up. Thank you, Reverend. Are you good, Brother Ali? Oh, you're trying? Okay.
You hit it up. Yeah, he's good. Okay, you're good.
All right. Okay.
Change it and pop up on the screen.
So we're going to quickly have an icebreaker. I want you to take a few minutes, introduce yourself to the person sitting next to you. If you already know that person, perhaps turn around, introduce yourself to the person behind you or in front of you that doesn't know you, whichever one you know least, and talk to them about this prompt. And that prompt is, what is one verse or value in your faith that you lean upon to give you strength in times of difficulty? What is one verse or one value in your faith that you lean upon to give you strength in the time of difficulty? Could be any difficulty. Financial, spiritual, psychological, whatever it may be. So please get into groups, stay where you are, and just talk to the other person for 3 minutes.
So can you go back to the previous slide again?
You got it.
So the question is, am I traditional, Christian
Oh, with the mustard seed?
Tower is not
But I live in Streamwood. We're boating back to Right.
All right, while you're doing that now, take a look at your phones. You will have the prompt there, type it out. Type it out. It won't show your name. It's just going to show the message. Oh, God's mercy.
speaking जा रहा है ये बात start हुई क्रिएट अकाउंट तो नहीं कर रहे हैं
I don't know. Question. Do we put our answer or the one we got?
Your answer.
being humble and God's
Enter your own answer. Your own answer. Having trust in Allah. Right, God. The idea of charity and supporting the entire community. 1:5. I'm assuming that's Surah Fatiha? Or is that, okay. Is that from the, all right. Good, very nice. And also 1502271. Just these are the numbers for the lottery coming up, guys. These are, so, being humble. All right. Be still and know that I am God. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Serve along through His creation.
No, actually, I meant to say serve Allah through His creation.
Oh, serve Allah. Okay, okay. All right. Both are pretty good. Serve along and serve Allah. God has a solution for every situation, knowing that He will provide a way out. It is they who are truly guided by their Lord, and it is they who will be successful. All right. 5 participants are still typing. We'll give them some time. All right, another minute. So we have 18 people on Slido right now. 19. Okay, someone just joined. Very good. But 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. 27 people. Oh, 21. Hey.
9
Should I put out the names too? Please join the Slido. So right there, the code is still there. The QR code is still there. There should be 27 people on this. Well, excluding at least 2, should be 25. All right. One person is still typing. I'll give it another 30 seconds, and we're going to move on. Oh. Okay. MashaAllah. Surah Baqarah. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. And that's a translation you read before. Matthew 13, faith as small as mustard seed. You can move mountains. God bless. God is in control. Trust Allah, trust God. Empty vessel to be filled by God's will. There's nothing too hard for God. Trust God, trust Allah. Believe all of us children of Adam and Eve. So serve your family. Mordecai to Esther. Oh, okay. Who knows if for such a time as this, you are in this place? All right, so everything has having a purpose. The Treaty of Medina, all right, which we're actually going to touch upon, in which plural society was built. La taqnatu min rahmatillah, never become despondent of God's mercy. There are those who will say, I believe in God, and I heard once a faith leader say, I believe God, so it is for me. Okay. All right. So, so a lot of similarities in people going towards a higher power, something that is far beyond us, something that is forever, eternal, and gives us strength, and that is God, and all those things associated with Him. Thank you for participating. Why is that important? Because this topic is going to remind us, we're going to see that no matter what faith you are, we lean on the same faith values. Yes, our theology is different, and our objective is not to hold hands and sing kumbaya and say that we are all believing in the same God in just different ways. That's not the way of One America movement. Right? I've done quite a few interfaith, multi-faith, worked with a lot of organizations, different platforms, different objectives, agendas. One America is unique in the sense that, and that's why I was so inclined to join it and do the work that they've requested me to do, is because I am not requested, I am not asked to compromise my values.
Amen.
Amen. I am not asked to come onto an interfaith platform to compromise my values. The reason being is because your values and my values, they're the same. They're the same, the values are the same. And people tend to then take theology, take aqaid, take creed, and then try to force it into looking the same for each other, bending it, molding it to work with someone else. We don't need to do that. We can keep our theology, our creed, our beliefs different, no problem. But our values upon which the theology is built on, they're all the same. Normal polarization, and we're going to lean on this. It may mean I disagree with you on the issue. All right? So can someone mention an issue on which you had a disagreement? Just mention one topic. Anyone?
Politics.
Politics. All right, perfect. So I disagree whether it's pro-choice or pro? Pro-choice versus pro?
Pro-life.
Pro-life. All right? That's it. That's the dichotomy created by the political world. As if there's no grounds in between. If you lean left, it's pro-choice. You lean right, it's pro-life. That's it. You have no other choice. What happens in this framework is that the issue of, okay, well, you're pro-choice. You're pro-choice, that means you want to kill babies. That's the narrative that's created, right? And now since you want to kill babies, you're bad. You're an evil person. Why? Just because a person has an issue, right? Normal polarization, we have issues. We all have different issues, different topics, different things the way we think, the way we approach things, where we stand. We have different issues. That's all healthy. That's all okay. If someone is, quote unquote, if those are the only options given to us, and pro-choice, pro-life, if someone, one or the other, is following the opposite, that's them. That's normal. America's built on democracy. Democracy requires different views. It actually is a healthy democracy where you have varying views. Interestingly enough, Islam also says the same thing. That for Muslims to function with a healthy Islamic structure, what's required? Differing views. Differing views. It's healthy for Muslims to have differing views. So the issues that we disagree on, no problem. It is essential for a democratic process. It's a healthy part of pluralistic society. Toxic polarization is what I just did to Ahmad, right? I took the issue, one instance, one opinion of Ahmad, and I then projected it on his entire being. And then I not only projected it, I condemned him for it. So his whole being in essence is therefore evil. And all because of what? One issue. But that's not who Ahmad is. Ahmad has many other identities, many other issues, many other points, and to take one and then to project it on him in that manner, that's called toxic polarization. In Islam, we don't promote this. What's the difference in Islam between the two? Ikhtilaf, excellent. We must have ikhtilaf in Islam. It's part of our tradition. But when ikhtilaf, which is difference of opinion, transitions to mukhalafa, that now we must hold you in contempt for your view and your dissension. That is called toxic polarization, where it turns into violence. I don't like who you are. Only one of us can win, right? It's all or nothing. It gets worse and worse. It's an echo chamber. You want toxic polarization, make sure you're right. More sure you're right, less likely to be actually right. More arrogant, less curious. Worse at solving problems, worse at understanding others. Toxic polarization teaches us that we don't need to think about how to think. So these were all things covered before, so I'm now going to breeze by. Normal polarization are all these emotions which are healthy. To be angry, to be open, curiosity, sadness, complexity, surprise. They will eventually not lead to violence. Violence is unlikely. And it's healthy to have these emotions. Islam promotes وَهُوَ يَضْحَكَ وَيَبْكَى. He's the one who has given you these emotions. Allah has mentioned in the Quran, I have given you sadness. I have given you joy. Being sad and joy is actually from me. It's a way to remember me through your sadness and your joy. But to take that emotion and then to turn it into contempt, I'm angry at you, therefore I hate you, and therefore I want to hurt you, that's contempt. Or to not talk. Sometimes it happens to our own homes. We know in Islam we're not allowed to not talk to someone for more than 3 days. And I know personally, many youth, many spouses have come and said, my husband, my wife, hasn't spoken to me in months. My father has not talked to me for 3 years. I got married, I have kids 8 years old, my parents don't talk to me. Right? Why? Because it went from normal polarization to toxic. That a son did something, or the father did something, or the spouse did something. And instead of that issue and being angry at that issue, now you are doomed forever. Your whole being is just evil. Get out. Right? Many examples like this of that in the Quran as well. So, what does this type of behavior do? It promotes group formation, where individuals, if I know someone else agrees with me on that issue, then I'm more inclined to be with that person. If I saw their car and I saw on the back of their car, the bumper sticker, and I saw something like pro-life or whatever, now, not knowing anything about the person, I'm inclined towards them. I want to roll down my window and talk. But if I saw on the bumper sticker, vote for whoever, and I didn't want to vote for that person, if they roll down their window and want to talk to me, probably, do some sort of gesture of holding the middle finger up or cursing at them. Why? Because I saw the bumper sticker. That's it. To pass judgment. So what happens is then this not only pushes us away from other people, but it also starts promoting group formation. That you believe what I believe, so because of that issue, now we're together. All right. What's happening in this type of environment is that it's not a healthy way of interacting with human beings. So what happens is you only get to agree, you only are with that individual on that issue, and you're not going deeper. And people are doing that. Social media is doing that. It's promoting that. The society we live in, materialistic, capitalist, it's promoting that desire to just feed the self, and not go deeper in a relationship with another individual, because that's challenging. So as a result, what's happening in America? This is Vivek Murphy. Anyone know who that is?
Surgeon General.
Surgeon General. He was in during the time of Obama and Biden, I believe 2.5 terms. And what does he say? Someone like to read? Anyone? Any volunteers? Yes, please.
During my years of caring for patients, the most common pathology I saw was not heart disease or diabetes, it was loneliness. Loneliness and weak social connections are associated with a reduction in lifespan similar to that caused by smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and even greater than that associated with obesity.
All right, so this is the Surgeon General of the United States of America, right? This is based on research. And what are we finding in our country? The biggest problem, one of the biggest problems, loneliness. So we're interacting with people, we're texting, we're on Facebook, we're doing so many things to connect, but we're all lonely, right? Because we're not establishing deep relationships, right? And as you can see, if someone's smoking 15 cigarettes a day, we're going to be so concerned about that person. We're going to tell them to stop, you can't do it, imagine. But our own family members are alone. Our own mothers, our own fathers, children are alone, but we're not concerned, right, of anyone's well-being, right? So loneliness, right, is an issue, and again, it promotes toxic polarization. All right, here we go. Please take out your phones and write, name a group that you belong to. It's best that you use as minimum words as possible, but if you need to use more, go ahead. If you need to list more than one group, type one group out, then list the other. But type one word or 2 words and move on, and you can enter multiple times. What group do you belong to? What is your identity? Who do you identify with? Just write. I love this exercise. It's one of my favorites. I mean, just take a look, right? Just take a look at how a person identifies themselves, right? Through a book club, through the mosque that they're at, through the faith, of course, right? Whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christian, right? Through church, just like we identify through a mosque, we'll identify through a church, right? Organization we work with. Tennis, playing tennis, right? Yeah, so look how complex an individual is, and how many groups a person belongs to, right? And it's layered upon layers of different aspects of an individual, right? Good, book club. AI, anonymous, all right. Okay, what makes you feel included in that group? Anyone? You can just voice out. What makes you feel included in that group?
Friendships.
Friendships, thank you. Your name?
Christine.
Christine, thank you, Christine. Friendships. That's why I associate with, because I have friends.
Purpose.
Purpose, reason for being together. We may not be friends, but we have purpose. Right?
Sense of belonging.
We may be friends, but we don't have purpose. Sense of belonging, right? Sense of belonging, that I have somewhere, that people are similar to me. Yes.
Common values?
Common values. Common values. I hold the same values as these people, so I'm comfortable. Right? Anyone else?
Equal.
Equal. That's a good one. Right? I don't want to be with people that degrade me or put me down. I'd rather be with people that treat me as an equal. Absolutely. Now this is going to be a little challenging. It requires some deep thought and contemplation. I want you to think from your own experiences, from your own groups. Just think of a time, whether you were playing tennis, whether you were at a book club, whether you were at a mosque, right after the khutbah, or at a church, right after the sermon. Just think about certain settings where you were part of that group that you identified with, and you started noticing toxic polarization. Yes.
Unilateral decisions.
Unilateral, can you elaborate? I'm assuming you're referring to the masjid?
No.
Like, no. I wanna continue to be here.
No, it's not related to the masjid.
Yes, sorry.
It's a different group, so a decision that was taken that was not agreeable to others.
A decision that was taken not agreeable to others. Okay, and how did that make you feel?
Not, I was not satisfied with the decision.
Okay. What feeling? What feeling can you recall?
I thought it was discrimination.
How did you feel?
I felt that the decision that was taken against the person, I don't want to, I cannot because of confidentiality, I can go in.
No, what feeling?
What feeling? The feeling was more upset. I was upset.
Upset.
Yeah.
Thank you. When we want to engage with toxic polarization and bring it back to normal polarization, try to listen to a person's emotions, not the words. Try to listen to them. Very hard to do. It's a very difficult to do. But if you can train yourself, listen to a person's emotion, not the words. Focus on the emotion. If you can change that framework, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so anyone else? Yes.
Women should not come to the mosque.
Thank you. I agree. What are you guys doing here?
So we built a brand new mosque at our university at the heart of the campus. And there was a very nice person. He was a pediatrician from Egypt, but he believed that women should never come to the mosque. And there were a lot of women who will come and they will stand at the very back. So he will lead the prayer and he will recite everything in such low voice that they cannot hear.
I don't agree with it. I was joking. Just to make sure. I want to talk about toxic polarization. So I understand that this is a view that this imam had or this person had. How did it become toxic? What dynamics unfolded that you may have noticed with people that you were in group with that were happening?
So he was also my neighbor. We lived across the street. So I tried to convince him that I don't challenge your view. That may have some grounding in your way of understanding Islam. But there are others also who don't hold the same view. And especially the women, they want to come to the mosque and that they want to be part of it. But he will not agree. He said, no, this is the view that is correct.
So you're positioning yourself in that moment as a group of Muslim or Muslim men. That's the group you're part of.
Right.
And you're talking to another man about this toxic polarization. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Anyone else?
President, the junior one, I forget the name, My Way or
My way or the highway?
Or the highway.
Okay.
that's the attitude that really hurtful, really, polarization.
Do you have an example? Or?
Well, there are a lot of them, one he gave, but one thing is, among the Muslims, we already know there are different fiqh, and there are, in fact, when I was registering, they were asking, what faith? Islam. What denomination? I have no denomination. It's Islam, and a Muslim is Muslim. So I put down none, it will not accept. You have to put Sunni or Shia before it will accept. And I refuse to say that.
Okay.
I did the same.
Yeah.
I did the same, and then at the end I wrote, I will not disclose.
Yeah.
What did you?
Yeah.
I didn't write it.
How do you feel about the people that are imposing you to pick one? How do you feel about that?
I always say I respect your view. There are people with whom I dialogue, and email also, very hardliners, and some of them say, we won't even talk to you unless you accept these conditions. I said, accept programs that you have followed too.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So I won't talk to you, right? I won't talk to you because you're not accepting these conditions. Is that correct? All right. So that is a prime example of toxic polarization.
Just
Are the people
just
who...
add there. So I kind of, I said, no, I accept your condition. Let's communicate, interact, to understand each other. There comes a point where we know, no matter what you say, it's going to, like the Quran say, andartahum amlam tunzirum la yu'minun.
Wow, okay.
So I just translate that verse and tell them, I respect you, you are my brother or sister, and we are good friends.
Yeah, he just recited a verse that meant whether you warn them or you don't warn them, they will not believe. So this is God's judgment on people. So when a person goes into toxic polarization, what the person does, he assumes the role of God. Okay? The verses were for me. God was talking to me, right? And I'm supposed to take the message for my own benefit. But what do? When I go into toxic polarization, I become God. And then I push that judgment on everybody else, right? That's where toxic polarization comes in. All right. Now, all those issues that you thought about, I just want you to mention whether you spoke or you did not speak. Yes or no. You noticed a group of friends, and these things were not mentioned because sometimes it's hard to recall, but I'll mention it. You're going with a bunch of friends, you're playing ball, and someone starts calling a person of a different race a name, or putting them down, or talking to you about someone on TV, even the president. It could even be the president, and saying, I wish that guy was hoping bad things for that person. And we're just quiet. We're just listening. Right?
So
Saying things of violence or dehumanizing, whether it's the president or someone from the mosque or the church. And we observed this and we stayed quiet. Right? So that's no. Yes is no, I spoke up. All right.
Sheikh Abad, so what we see on the screen comes on our phone,
Yes.
right? And we have to...
Yeah, the prompt is on your phone and you select yes or no.
because I see that some people are still not...
All right. So what we see, and generally what we tend to see, is usually somewhere around a 50-50, 60-40 breakdown. This 74 tells me that Reverend Alvin has been doing a great job. So he already went through the toxic polarization course with you. You are motivated and you hear someone saying something and right there you're like, nope, I'm not going to tolerate this. So great job, Reverend Alvin. Anyone know what his nickname is from the Muslim community? Anyone know? Mujahid. Mujahid means the one who strives, who struggles. Yeah. But I call him the A-train. That's fine.
But mostly it's considered a bad word.
Well, that's toxically polarizing.
Wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
The word student, when he
Yeah,
said.
he's well aware of that. He is well aware of that. We had that discussion. All right. So now we come to a point where we want to understand how to address toxic polarization. And we want to be in-group moderates. All right. What is an in-group moderate? Right? It's a strange word, a strange term. Yeah, it's a strange frame of construction of these words, and it can get confusing. And let me tell you what it's not before I tell you what it is. It's not becoming, I'm conservative and you're liberal, so let's meet in the middle and be moderate. That's not what this is talking about. Right? I have very orthodox views, you have very liberal views, let's become moderate. Right? Or I'm moderate and you're not. That's not what this word means. Okay? In-group moderate is a person who is part of a group. Again, you've already mentioned which groups you're part of. And then you notice in your group, someone is going from normal polarization to toxic. Someone is discrediting an individual, but on top of that, dehumanizing them. Saying, I don't agree with the president, and I think he's not human. And calling him names. Or, I don't agree with this other brother or sister or friend, and when that person walks away, saying bad things about them, right? So this in-group moderate is a person that within the group rises to that occasion and brings the people back from toxic polarization to normal. That's an in-group moderate. Not values, but from toxic, normal to toxic. All right. In our faith, are we promoted, are we encouraged by God to be in-group moderates? Yes or no?
Yes.
Does anyone disagree with that?
No.
That's part of every single person here, that's part of our faith. Regardless of what faith you're in. Right? This is the benefit of being in a democracy, right? Those values that even our own faith promotes, that which sustains democracy, is to not let people go from differing in opinions to hating each other and promoting violence. So I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Tanvir to continue from here.
I think in the Quran, in the Bible, it is very clear that we are progeny of one father and mother. When we are progeny of one father and mother, that means that we are one family. So humanity is one family. And in family, when bad things happen, we don't leave those people. We help them and support them. Even if they are wrong, we help them because they are part of the family. The new information is that they did these DNA studies all over the world, and now we know scientifically that we are the children of one father and mother, genetically. So it's not only revelation or theology, but it is now, we know that. So, what does our scripture say? And hold firmly to the rope of Allah all together and do not become divided. The key part over here is hold firmly all together. It is not saying hold firmly that you as an individual hold firmly to the rope of Allah. it is saying that all together you hold it. Because when you will hold that rope, you will not be divided. So, similarly, there are other, in the Bible we have two are better than one because they have a good return of their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. So, it is very clear that we are all in this life together.
Yes.
And in this moment of reality, all the people who are alive, we are together. We won't be together because some of us will leave and some of us new will come. But the reality which exists right now is all of us together, and we have to take care of each other. Surah Nisa, O you who believe, you have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice. It's not that stand up for justice. Persistently standing firm in justice. Witness for Allah. You stand for justice to please your Lord, because Lord requires us. Even it be against yourself or parents and relatives. So we are very good at standing up for justice, when it is our own family or friends or parents. But it is saying even against yourself, you have to stand up. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Now, I think I will bring to your attention, and this also applies to all people of the book, and I think this is very important realization, at least to me, that in this world, God's behavior towards us is that He will take care of us. He doesn't care if we are good or bad or evil or whatever, because His taking care of us in this world is not based on our performance. Right? When He is taking care of us, why are we judging each other? But this will not be the case after the day of judgment. Because after the day of judgment, He is not going to be taking care of everyone. He will be taking care of those who, based on the performance. The judgment over there will be based on performance. And at many places, the Quran says that I will judge. And these things can be judged only by me on the day of judgment. So I don't know why we are in such a hurry to judge each other, because it's not our prerogative.
Jazakallah khair, thank you. All right, we're going to pair and share again. If you have already paired with someone or know them, again, one of the benefits of this gathering is to get to know someone else. And I would encourage you to maybe even get up a little bit, get uncomfortable, and meet someone of a different faith also if you don't know them. So let's do that. Get a little uncomfortable, pair and share. Why is being an in-group moderate important to you? Share with them. Is there an exemplary from your tradition that you can think of that was a good in-group moderate? All right, let's go.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. include an in-group moderate from the family? Like, is there someone in the family that can be an in-group moderate? What do you think?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I promise you that's not me. Why is that? I'm the sucker in the family. So my kids, they can get away with anything. But here's the problem, right? Since they can get away with everything with me, whose problem does it become?
Mom's.
Mom. Right? So what, in that moment, what am I doing with my kids, because I'm not being an in-group moderate, what am I doing to my kids in terms of their view of their mother? What am I doing?
Making mom look bad.
I am toxically polarizing my kids, right? Because I'm the good guy, and she is. Even though she's just telling them on one issue, don't do this, or don't do that, but they see her as, that's what kids do, right? They're not mature in emotional and understanding. So I have to also be an in-group moderate at home. I'm still working on it. That's why I do these presentations, because I need it more than you, all right? So it's our responsibility to, and we're going to talk about why. So why can't I just tell my son, 80-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter, why? I mean, they're so teeny tiny. Why can't I just stand up to them? Right? Why can't I confront them? So there are reasons. So we're going to talk about that. All right. What makes being an in-group moderate hard? What is it? What makes it so hard? Whether it's in family, whether it's in the community, whether it's with your friends, what's hard? Please take out your phones and start texting. All right, here we go. 10 minutes, we're going to make it, inshallah. All right, so. All right. Fear of being cast out, right? If I speak up amongst my friends, they might disassociate. Right? They will say, all right, not going to call me to the next party. I'd rather stay quiet and come to the next party. Right? Why would I do that to myself? Losing control. Who's losing control? Who's going to lose control? The in-group moderate, the person, or the people? What's going to happen? The person who's trying to be moderate is going to lose control of what? Themselves? What situation? What? Of themselves. Okay, so I can't be an in-group moderate because I might get a little overexcited, or I might lose control, right? Of the situation. I might not know what I'm heading into. All right? People pleasing. Exactly, right? I want to please my kids. Right? I want them to be. I come from work. I have all the excuses. Look, I'm traveling right now. I'm going to go home. I'm going to be there with them on Friday for a little bit, and then I have to travel again on Saturday. I'm going to be with them for 3-4 hours. They can do whatever they want. That's not acceptable, right? Because I just want them to be happy with me. It's a very selfish, right, motivated, right? Community. I want to be part of the community. I assume that's what this means. Backlash, exactly. That there will be significant consequences. Ego, right? I can't be an in-group moderate because I'm dealing with a lot of egos. Or I may have ego and I don't want to be an in-group moderate. Acceptable for all group members. Acceptable for all group members? I'm not clear. If someone wants to elaborate, they can. Okay?
Means that he wants to be accepted by everyone.
Oh, accepted by, so if I speak up, then someone might not like something, and therefore I will be ostracized. Thank you. In the moment, it can be hard to diagnose the problem exactly. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. Should I speak up or should I not? I don't know. Very good. Arrogant. Self-centered, yes. Make them unhappy, right? You don't want to make people unhappy. Not my problem. It's not my problem. As soon as this conversation is over, whoever they're talking about, whoever they're going to hurt, they're going to put down, I'll be on to the next thing. Right? It's not my problem. Dad, don't have time. Oh, okay. That's me. You have to be unbiased, right? Right. You have to be unbiased. That's true. You're talking about a solution. Have to be strong. All right. Alienating friends, people, bad guys. Okay, you see a similar theme, being afraid of conflict, losing friends, right? Similar things going on. Oh, people are still typing, we'll just give it another 10 seconds. Taking sides. If I become an in-group moderate, I might create a faction with my own friends. Someone will believe me, it might come on my side, and someone will go on the other side. Okay. Thank you. Having to be patient, right? All right. So, you already mentioned these things. What are the risks involved? You are the only voice in the room. Right? We're summarizing all the things you basically said. There's a high personal cost. There's a high personal cost. As someone mentioned, there's consequences. Right? You have to think about those things. There's a high professional risk. Right? I may lose my job. People lose their job. My safety could be at risk. Right? I could become unsafe. My family could become unsafe. That's happened as well. All right, so how can you manage the risk of being an in-group moderate? You have 2 minutes. Please type out. How do you address these issues? How do you anticipate this risk? That I could lose my job, that I might not have friends, that I might create factions. What can I do in advance? Or what can I do to be a better in-group moderate? What are the responses? What are the solutions to these real life problems that I could face for being an in-group moderate? Okay. You can continue typing, I'm just going to talk. Pray. Absolutely. We should all pray. Be patient. Okay. Is patience... No, that's a cheat sheet. Be patient. Okay, is being patient going to solve the issue? Or what does that mean? We might need to talk a little bit more about that. How do you be patient? Right? Sometimes patience can become being complacent. Right? Being patient could be delaying the inevitable, right? So what do you mean by patient, right? Okay, being honest, but will being honest protect me from the issues that I'm afraid of, right? Being non-judgmental, that in-group moderate, does it mean that an in-group moderate is judging people? Is that the logic we're trying to think about here? That the in-group moderate shouldn't judge and just should observe? So these are things that we have to, again, talk about and flesh out. Explain using a perspective familiar to the group. Excellent, excellent, very nice. Right? Sometimes people will talk about another faith community. Oh, that religion? They're so divided. They're so divided. They can't agree on anything. It's like, and then a person can say within this own faith, well, what about people of our faith? Do we agree on everything? Right? So to bring an example that someone's projecting on someone else, bring it within your own faith. And use that as a way to try to get a person to think from a different vantage point. Have a family time and listen to others. Excellent. So what is this person doing? They're trying to create space. They're trying to give time to address a situation and bring it out. Remembering it, but bringing it out another time. Establish boundaries. Create a system, a framework where you anticipate that toxic polarization is going to happen and you're going to need to step in as an in-group moderate. Well, when that happens, what kind of parameters can I set up to let people know, okay, we have a family meeting every week, or we're going to have this topic in the masjid and this is the way we're going to go talk about it. Prepare the community in advance for a very toxically polarizing issue. Right? Be a good listener. Yes, absolutely. But how are we going to address the risks involved? Stay objective, that's fine. Democratic process, listen to others with care, have another person, listen, convince people individually. Convince people individually. That will help not bring it up in front of 10 people. I can try to divide and conquer. I can talk to one person, another person, gather some support, right? You get some momentum. Good. Let all the group members give their justification. Open it up. Let everyone else talk about it. Mention something and then hear other people until you get to a point where you can start hearing things that will help people come back to normal polarization. Okay, I need to believe that there is benefits of toxic polarization. Okay, recognize the blessedness of facing persecution. All right, so we're going to give the answers now. I think we have another. Oh, okay. Find like-minded leaders. Identify allies in your congregation. Right? How do you address this high personal cost? Assess your values. Identify support system and find allies. Assess the risks. There are real risks. Make sure you assess them. Build allies and call your own like-minded networks. Prepare for repercussions. Protect your physical, digital, and mental health. You may need a lawyer. You may need. Depends, right?
You may need counsel.
You may need counsel. You may need support. There's a lot of things you could need. You have to anticipate that if you're gonna be in a position or plan to be in a position to be an in-group moderator. All right, we're going to come and do this survey later. This is the last survey before we have Maghrib break, so we'll leave this up. When you come back, just engage in this, right? When you come back.
So this about 15 minutes break. We'll go upstairs after our evening prayer. If any of you want to come and observe, there are chairs in the back. If you stay here, and this is for everybody, we have plenty of foods left. And there are boxes. There's a whole tray of rice, there's a whole tray of salad, and there are almost something of everything. So feel free to make your box while we are going to pray.
Which risk do you think about the most? As you can see, the top two have been about loneliness and personal cost. Physical safety coming in at third, and professional cost at 6. What's interesting is that it all starts at a personal level. It all starts at being alone, being in a group, right? The whole group identity. And group norms are formed through media, through society, and once those norms are established, it becomes very difficult for an in-group moderator to operate because they have to stand alone, right? And that's interesting, right? In the Quran, Abraham is mentioned that he was ummatun wahida, that he was a nation alone. He was a nation alone. It's the idea of being alone was there when he stood up and he had to confront his own father and his community, but he stood up with such emphasis, such strength, that it is as if a nation stood up, right? And that's where we have to learn to put our trust in Allah, put our trust in God, and that's where really in-group moderate starts, is the fear of not being alone and being in oneness or in communion with God. All right. So now I'm going to request our dear Reverend Alvin to come up, as he will be continuing into the third session next time. And some of the slides he'll be covering are around peacemaking and polarization. So I'd like to request him to honor us with his presence and go over these slides.
All right, good evening, everybody. Come on now, put your hands together. Give yourself a nice round of applause. You folks are fantastic. And we're just grateful to be here together as faith leaders, and we're committed to really addressing the spiritual crisis of toxic polarization. In my tradition, all of my friends will say amen. 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 And so again, as we think about this issue of toxic polarization, I love the translation in the Message Bible. Eugene Peterson has a translation of the Bible, and Matthew 5:9 says it like this in the Message. It says, "You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate." Come on now, come on now. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete and fight. Oh, I love that. I love that. Then it goes on to say, that's when you discover who you really are. Oh, y'all don't hear me tonight. That's when you discover who you really are. And then it closes out by saying, you know your place in God's family. We're peacemakers for such a time as this, my friends, because when you're a peacemaker, you know where you are in God's family. It's about harmony. It's about loving people into the conversation. Don't you just love that? Love people into the conversation. So let's take a look here for a moment on this issue. Now, with One America, we have a number of different fellowships that we're connecting folks through our movement of addressing spiritual crisis. We have the Matthew 5:9. We have our Muslim Faith Network that Brother Ibad is leading. Our Jewish Faith Network, Rabbi Fred, that's right here in Chicago as well. So our fellowships provide resources and relationships for faith leaders to do what? To be peacemakers. To be peacemakers. And the thing about peacemakers that I love, and you're going to love it too, it says, the role, peacemakers are those who actively seek to mend the rifts between people and communities. How many believe we got some rifts going on within our communities today that need healing, that need hope, all right, need help? That's what we're trying to do. All right, there's a lot of rifts going on between people and communities. They are not merely passive observers, but proactive participants in fostering understanding and collaboration. That's what a peacemaker is. Peacemaking requires, oh, I love this. It requires courage. Got to be bold and courageous to be an in-group martyr. You got to be bold and courageous to be a peacemaker. You got to have courage. You got to have patience. You got to have patience. And the willingness to engage with others. And I love how it closes out. It said, even when what? It gets uncomfortable. All right? It gets uncomfortable when you're a peacemaker. But you stand on that holy ground and you continue to advocate for peace along the way. So, as we think about various roles as peacemakers, I'm just going to fire through these very rapidly so we can close out here on time this evening. The one thing I do is the listener. Some of you in here this evening really have that attribute as a listener. Listening is the foundation of peacemaking. Listeners are those who create spaces for voices to be heard. Yeah, that's about equity. That's about belonging. We got to have voices that's going to be heard. All right? Ensuring that all perspectives are acknowledged. They demonstrate empathy and validate others' experiences even when they disagree. Sometimes you got to agree to disagree. But you know the cool thing about that? We just keep loving each other into the conversation. Come on, y'all. Y'all don't hear me there. You just got to keep loving people into the conversation. All right, the second one is, it said, the bridge builders. All right, some of you are sitting there right now thinking, yeah, that aligns directly with me. I'm a bridge builder. Bridge builders connect opposing sides. They identify shared values and goals, facilitating constructive dialogue. Their ability to navigate between different groups fosters trust and cooperation. Navigating those waters along the way. That's what a bridge builder is all about. Some of you are thinking, yeah, that aligns with me. I'm a bridge builder every single day I wake up. All right? Number 3, that aligns with some of you in the room here this evening. The advocates. Advocates champion justice and fairness, ensuring that the marginalized voices are included in the conversation. That means those on the periphery are invited inside to be a part of the huddles that we have collectively within our organizations, our institutions, our synagogues, our mosques, our churches, etc. Making sure that every voice is included in the conversation. They remind us that true peace cannot exist without what? Without equity and accountability and justice. I like that over there. Yeah, you can textualize that thing. I love that. And justice. Because you know why? Because where there's no peace. Okay, y'all hear me? Where there's no peace, there's no justice. There's no justice. So that's what the advocates are all about. Then the mediators. The mediators step into conflicts with impartiality, helping opposing parties find solutions. We have to get on the solution side of things along the way. Their strength lies in their neutrality and ability, oh, I love this, to de-escalate the tension. All right? That's when you have individuals that are in the midst of those moments that are tense. You just come in there and say, let's just be still and just breathe for a moment. Just be still and just breathe for a moment. And then you say, you tell your neighbor, everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Let's just breathe and be still and continue to trust one another. You see, that's the mediator. They bring the calm along the way. And then the visionaries. I'm a visionary leader myself. I can give you vision for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a midnight snack. I'm never low on vision. I'm driving, I got vision. I'm eating, I got vision. I'm walking, I got vision. I'm never low on vision because vision matters. Vision is our final destination. That's where we plant the flag. So I'm always in that visionary mode. But visionaries inspire hope by painting a picture of what a unified future can look like. Isn't that what we want, friends? Enough of this divide. We want to be united. We want to be one because we have more in common than we do apart. They motivate others to transcend division and work towards a common purpose. So friends, think about it for yourself. What do you line up? Are you a listener when it comes to peacemaker? Are you a bridge builder when it comes to peacemaker? Does the advocate align with you as we address this issue of the spiritual crisis of toxic polarization? Are you a mediator along the way or the visionary? Where does it align with you for such a time as this? I'm going to welcome my brother back up. Let's put your hands together for brother Abba. Come on now, give some love.
Continue giving that love for my brother Alvin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. No one can match his energy at One America. No one. God bless. All right.
God bless you. God bless you.
Okay. A key indicator of our toxic polarization is not just how we view the issues, but how we view each other. Right? That's really the conclusion, the summary of all that we've been discussing, is that we can have different issues. We can disagree. You know, I know earlier, and it takes some time to digest everything that we've been discussing, to really put it into context, our own personal context, the masjid context, the church context. It takes time. You know, when I asked what are some toxic polarizing issues, a lot of conversation went towards, you know, there's lack of understanding by people who are conservative. There's this whole thing about denominations in our faith, and there's divisions in our faith, and we're still not really grasping. We're getting there, but we're not fully grasping what this is about. We're still at the surface and we're scratching it. And again, it'll take some time. So I'm going to repeat. It's not just how we view the issues. So the denomination, the Shia, Sunni, evangelical, Protestant, Catholic, fiqh, it's not about the issue. Actually, the issue is okay. That's really the point. The issue is okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's all right. But when we take that and then we say, well, now these people, they're not listening. These people are the problem. These people are causing the problem. We're engaging in toxic polarization. Right? We're now taking this one issue and then projecting it. And the other side is doing the same thing. Right? So again, it'll take time to actually digest all of this and then to really come to this like awareness that, oh, okay, yeah, if that person is doing it this way, okay. How do I go about not discrediting that person, not putting that person down, and also sharing my view with that person in such a way that they're not doing the same thing to me? That's what we're talking about. All right, how we view one another. And this is what happens. Right? 3 types of othering. Those people are extreme. Me, I'm not extreme. I'm the moderate. I'm the cool-minded. I'm the calm, collected. Those people, they're crazy. Dehumanized. I mean, as a Muslim community, we know how that is. I mean, I grew up playing video games in which I was watching, or I was playing as the white man killing Muslims in a video game for many years. Whether it was Black Ops, whether it was Medal of Honor, well, what other games are there? So many times, I'm the white American soldier, Desert Storm, and I'm going out into the desert and killing the Muslims, fighting the Muslims. And it was really traumatizing for me. Like sometimes I'm sitting there, like, why am I fighting myself? I don't understand what's going on over here. Right? Dehumanized, because that's the image that was created. You know. The hateful other, right? That I hate what you said, and therefore I hate you. Right? I don't like what you said, and therefore I hate you. Have you felt dehumanized by anyone or anything? We kind of know what the answer is going to be, but at least you can see it for yourself. All right. Right. So this is a problem, right? And again, I want us to think. The question is, have you felt dehumanized by anyone or anything? Well, again, have you dehumanized anyone or anything? Right? That's really the deeper question here, right? And this whole presentation isn't about I'm going to save the world. This whole presentation is about how am I going to save myself from this problem, right? That's what all this is about.
And I think the most difficult part is that this is have I dehumanized someone else?
Right.
So to identify oneself that am I at mistake?
وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. In yourselves are signs. Then do you not reflect? Right? Allah wants us to challenge ourselves. All right, thank you so much. The extreme other toxic polarization also leads to false polarization, the belief that the other side is more extreme than it really is. There's a whole presentation called Misperceptions, and it talks about actual statistics, numbers, the psychology behind misperceptions, and how we have misattributions due to misperceptions. Another time, another conversation. The hateful other, toxic polarization leads us to assume that people across the divides hate us. When this happens, we begin to see the person as a threat. Assuming we know what someone thinks about us is called meta-perception. Again, meta-perception is, I think about something about you. That's my perception of you. You think something about me, that's your perception of me. Then there's meta-perception. What is that? What do I think that you think about me? That's meta-perception. What do I think that you're thinking? I know what you think about me. I know what you think about me. That's meta-perception. Right? It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Negative meta-perceptions and false polarizations lead to the cycle of toxic polarization. It fuels it. It fuels it, right? The dehumanized other, when you are wrong, becomes you are evil, which we were talking about before, right? We're summarizing all the things that we've been discussing. We have started down the path of dehumanization. Toxic polarization makes it easier to accept language that dehumanizes those with different views. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Tamir to come and give this example.
So I think some of us may know this example. The Prophet was in the mosque and his companions were there too. And Badduan, they lived outside the city and they came to the mosque. And one of them, he started to urinate in the mosque. And all of a sudden, the companions of the Prophet, they were running to stop him doing that. And the Prophet said, no, let him relieve himself. And after that, he went to him alone and nicely told him that this is a sacred place and you are not supposed to urinate here. And he said, I didn't know. So this is the thing that, we cannot judge the intentions, just the ignorance maybe that somebody does something. And so we have to hold our emotion and I think we discussed that. And indeed, in the Messenger of Allah, you have an excellent example for whoever hopes in Allah and the last day and remember Allah often. So, one of the verses of the Quran says that if somebody does bad to you, you do good to that person. And what will happen is that that person will become your best friend. I mean, really, what's the difference if you respond in the same way? So, really, we have to treat each other with passionately and mercifully. You want to go?
Jazakallah khair. Thank you again. Give him a round of applause also, please. So we have to learn to complicate the narrative. That's really important. One of the tactics of reducing toxic polarization and removing ourselves from meta-perception, false polarization. And again, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah is a prime example of that. This treaty took place in a time when the Muslims were not in power. The Muslims did not have a specific identity in the sense that they were not a nation that was respected or a community. They were just initial stages, very initial stages of forming an Islamic identity. So they are in a position, in an inferior position. And Umar ibn Khattab is the second caliph, and in this treaty he even questions the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying to him, aren't we upon the truth? And aren't they upon falsehood? So Umar bin Khattab, may God be pleased with him, the second caliph who takes the mantle of leadership, after Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's demise, Abu Bakr is the first caliph and then Umar the second. He became the leader of the Muslims, but in this instance, he is asking the Prophet and projecting this toxic polarization in the sense that we are on the truth, these people are on falsehood, so therefore we should fight. That's what he's saying. We should fight. And the reason why this is happening is because they're being prevented, right? They're being prevented from entering and to perform the pilgrimage of the Kaaba, right? So where the Muslims go, billions go to perform pilgrimage now, that city was controlled by non-Muslims, and they were preventing them from coming to pilgrimage. So what does he say? Umar says, let's go fight. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, he complicated the narrative. He didn't make it this dichotomy and fuel violence, right? Because Muslim community wasn't getting something they wanted, is that a reason to inflict violence, to create this dichotomy, right? In Islam, violence is only permissible in self-defense. That's the only reason violence is permissible. Self-defense, right? To defend either yourself or someone else that is being harmed, that's the only reason. Not because I can't get my way, I can't get what I want, can't do that. So they were seeing things in a binary way. Truth versus falsehood, victory versus defeat. Shortly after, God reveals a verse, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina, really we have granted you victory, because they walked away from this fight. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, encouraged them to walk away, and a treaty was formed that actually gave the Muslims the first document that enabled them to have an identity. Reaffirming shared values, the believers in their mutual love, mercy, and compassion are like a single body. If one part of it suffers, the whole body responds with sleeplessness and fever. I'd like to request you to please take a picture of this. It's a post-survey. As I'm talking, kindly fill out this survey. It's very important for us to assess and to gain some feedback in terms of our operations, the information we're disseminating, and how it relates to your own engagement with it and development. So please do us a favor and kindly fill out the survey. It's the same one that you did when you came in for the pre-test, and it's a post-test of the same survey. Doctor.
So, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. The issues that we are discussing, believe me, are not issues that we can just simply ignore. That we have attended a wonderful workshop and that's it, and we go out of this place and we forget. This is something that we face between different faith communities and more, as well as within a particular faith community. And what we discussed in the first workshop and today are some of the key ways that each one of us, because I consider each one of you as people who will go and take this message and do something about it in our respective communities, to bring harmony, to bring understanding, to bring love, and to bring peace, and to bring justice. Sometimes we don't realize and we are not able to locate where the problem is. But I hope that by attending 2 of our workshops, you now know where the problem usually exists. And some of those Slido surveys, the message has been conveyed that none of you should ever be simply a silent spectator, because that's not the way we can bring about any change. Whatever we can do in a small or big way, we should be doing. And in doing so, obviously, we take certain risks. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, attending the One America Summit. And during that time, we visited the Greenwood Museum. Because Tulsa, you know, it has a history where all the black people, they came from the South, they worked hard, they established their economy, what they called Black Wall Street, and then suddenly there was a massacre. Everything was burned, destroyed. So now, going through that museum reminded me that in different communities, we go through the same sort of feelings, but we don't do anything about it. And we invite a same sort of reaction. So at the entrance wall of that museum, there was an interesting quote I want to share with you. Not everything that is faced can be changed. Not everything that is faced can be changed. But nothing can be changed until it is faced. It's a very profound statement. It's a very, very profound statement. And what we do, we run away from facing things. Most of the time, I see very good intentioned people, people of very high talent and caliber. They run away from facing situation. We see something in our mosque, and we say, it doesn't affect me, and we walk away. That is the moment that we have to play the role that we have discussed here. So, our third workshop is going to be on June 12th at MEC in Martin Grove. And again, Reverend Alvin and I will be firing up all the participants as we did probably in the first one. So here I think, Sheikh Ibad Wali and Tanveer,
Yes.
in their own way, they reflected upon some of the very important issues. And we want to conclude with Reverend Alvin Bibbs so that you will never forget that WCMIR and One America movement together did these 3 workshops. Because these workshops we are not doing just to put in our report book that we did 3 things. We feel that this is a problem that we face in our community, in our society, and all of us together can address this problem. And I'm very happy that so many of you came from different faith communities, and the discussion will continue. The discussion will continue. So I just saw that about 7 of the people who attended, they did not register before, so we don't have your email. So if you haven't written your email, please write it down so that we can send you the flyer and the registration form for the 3rd and the last workshop. And before I leave and give it back to Sheikh Abad, so to conclude it with his prayers and final remarks, I do want to thank Sister Seema Ahmed and Brother Nurul Sayyed and his associate for their hospitality, for hosting us, and we are really grateful for the mosque and for all of you. And we think that on the journey of interfaith, we have found some very brave soldiers. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siddiqui. Again, give him a round of applause too. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. I also wanted to thank Brother Kashif. Kashif, right? Yes, thank you
Yeah,
for all the
say
help
yes.
for setting up and being with us. Yes.
Uh, It's a wonderful program. I attended both the sessions and inshallah want to attend the third too. But I'm missing, what we are talking about here is One America. In fact, this is all applicable to one world. It's the same things. And I see even within America, there's about more than 1/4 of the humanity missing here. I do not see anybody from the Eastern faiths, Buddhism and Hinduism. So I very strongly recommend some special effort should be made to include them.
I appreciate that. Just to quickly respond, it's not a debate or anything, just to bring awareness to your concerns and what America has been. It's a 7-year-old organization. That's number one. Number two, the primarily started with addressing toxic polarization within the evangelical community, Protestant community, and now it's moving on to Latter-day Saints, LDS, and help me out, Alvin.
You mentioned the
Catholics.
Catholics.
Catholic, we just got to, we just had to engage with the contract with the Catholic ministries, and the Jewish
community.
rabbi. A Jewish rabbi joined 2 years ago, and I joined a year ago for the Muslim community to address toxic polarization. And so it's a work in progress, right? And I appreciate your advice. And so I don't know if we're doing a Q&A, we can, but it is 9 o'clock. But if you want, we can do that. You're welcome to join the mailing list. I appreciate all the time you've given. I just wanted to mention where we are with the Muslim Faith Network. I encourage you to visit the website oneamerica.org and take a look at what is the current framework for the Muslim Faith Network. And you're welcome to give me feedback. You can take my card, and you can email me if you, as thought partners. That's what I'm really seeking. Muslims or people of other faith. I would like you to let me know what your thoughts are and what you think how the Muslim community should be addressing toxic polarization within our own communities as well as with other faith communities. So here are my cards. If anyone wants, they can take them from here. I've had conversations. My primary focus is to visit faith leaders from across varying divides and different ethnic backgrounds and ideologies across the country. And I'll let you know that I've met the conservative institutions that I've graduated from, their leadership in trying to work with the silos that they've been working in to remove that. I've discussed it with other institutions that are not conservative, maybe liberal or whatever. I don't like to use these terms, but they exist, and we're in this framework, and I've met leadership from other institutions to bridge those gaps, to the extent that I've even gone to the political divides that the Turkish Muslims have between Erdogan and the Hizmet movement, and there's just so many layers to issues within our communities with ethnic, religious, and political divide. It's not something one person can do, and that's where we're going to grow, inshallah, God willing. And need your support in the sense of being a thought partner, figuring out how to get the right people in the right places to address this across the country for our Muslim community. And then moving on to multi-faith, I've gone to Jewish Theological Seminary and I've gone to Hebrew Union College and discussed Zionism with them face-to-face about what their beliefs are and where they are as students of graduates of this institution. And now I'm trying to have them connect with Islamic institutions so that the cohort of Jewish faith leaders can work with Muslim faith leaders to navigate this. It's not easy. It's a very challenging topic. We constantly talk about justice. My wife is Palestinian. Justice is all we talk about. So it's not an easy arena to navigate. What we do need is to understand our faith values. What we do need is to not constantly judge others, but kind of find ourselves, balance ourselves, and hope that we can find others along with us who can reflect on their faith values and find balance so that we can have these difficult conversations that are not easy to have for a better future. Change doesn't happen overnight. change takes sometimes years, sometimes hundreds of years to do. And this, for me, is a seed that we're planting for that change. Have a peaceful night. Thank you.
Before we leave, we want to have a group picture. So we have a, yeah, just if you can make a line here. We can put some chairs for our sisters here, all the sisters. These chairs for, yeah.
And again, everyone, thank you for a few extra minutes here this evening as well. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Our third session will be focused on how to talk to your neighbor. How do you talk to your neighbor about the issue of polarization?
Yeah. You can all come and,
Okay, all the ladies?
yeah.
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. We will not force anyone to sit on the chair. But,
That's the problem, right?
no, we will not force. We have just talked about it.
Okay, any more people? I'm coming. Yeah.
Oh, don't be worried about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold up, we got a few more. Hold up. Now, you need to get in the photo.
Somebody
I want you in the photo with me, man. Come on. Don't be shy. Handsome man like you. Handsome. Let me assume my position here.
Tallest for right.
That's right.
Both presidents.
We got him first.
One more.
You can also.
I'm also coming in one of the So, let me.
Everybody look to the right. Okay. To the right, to the right. Okay, we're looking at you now.
Gosh, if you should come, yeah.
Okay. Now, put, oh, you got it.